Learning objectives. After completing this module, learners will be able to enlist various bases of classification of Indian economy, describe primary, secondary and tertiary sector, explain the importance of primary sector, define unemployment and explain its types. Classification. Sectors of the Indian economy. There exist several economic activities in an economy, some producing goods, some producing services, etc. Three types of classification are primary, secondary, and tertiary sectors. Organized and unorganized sectors. Private and public sectors. Classification based on the nature of economic activities involved. Primary sector. When production is undertaken by directly using natural resources, it is termed as primary sector. Example: cotton cultivation, mining, fishing, etc. Primary sector is also called agriculture and related sector. Primary sector is known as primary because products of this sector are the base for all the products further made. Secondary sector. Secondary sector covers activities in which natural products are changed into other forms. Manufacturing is usually done by the use of machines, that is, industrial activity is involved. Therefore, secondary sector is also called industrial sector. Example: making sugar from sugarcane, using cotton fiber to spin yarn, etc. Tertiary sector. Tertiary sector does not produce goods, but instead produces services. Services are activities that help in the functioning and development of primary and secondary sectors. Comparing the three sectors. Every economic activity falls into one or the other sector. All the sectors have large number of employees and they produce large number of goods and services. How do we count the various goods and services and know the total production in each sector? A large magnitude of goods and services are produced. Economists suggest that value of goods and services should be added rather than adding up actual quantities, because adding up quantities would be a tedious task, nearly impossible. A precaution needs to be taken that only final value of goods and services needs to be added, because the value of final goods already includes the value of all intermediate goods used up in the production of final goods. Example: a farmer sells wheat to a flour mill for 12 rupees per kg. Mill grinds wheat and sells flour at 18 rupees per kg to the bread company, which uses flour, sugar, oil, etc. to make breads, which it sells for 25 rupees per packet. Breads are final goods. Intermediate goods are completely used in production of final goods. Final good produced already includes the value of all intermediate goods and services that is used in its making. In the similar way, In the production of wheat and sugar, value of all intermediate goods has been included. If value of every good is to be added, we will end up adding the same value multiple times, called the problem of double counting. The value of final goods and services produced in each sector in a particular year gives the total production of the sector for that year. Gross domestic product. If we add them, we get the total production within a country in a year. It is called the gross domestic product or GDP. GDP shows the size of the economy. Higher the GDP, bigger the economy. The work of calculating GDP in India is done by Central Government Ministry. Historical change in sectors. In the initial stages of development, primary sector emerged as the most important sector of economic activity. As farming methods began to change, the agricultural sector started to prosper by producing much more food than before. Many people took up other activities. The number of traders and craftsmen increased and buying and selling activities increased in many folds. Over a long time, especially because new methods of manufacturing came up, factories come up and started expanding. The secondary sector becomes the most important sector that is dominant in total production and employment. In the past 100 years, there has been a further shift from secondary to tertiary sectors. Most people are now involved in the tertiary sector. IT sector jobs pay high salaries, thus leading to a greater value addition in the economy, making tertiary sector the biggest contributor in the GDP. Why the tertiary sector becoming so important in India? A study of graphs reveals the rising importance of tertiary sector in production. In 2013, it has emerged as the largest contributor to GDP, replacing the agricultural sector. Reasons why the tertiary sector becoming so important in India. Hospitals, banks, schools, etc. are required in every country. In developing countries, the expansion of basic services leads to expansion of tertiary sector production and value addition. Development of agricultural and industrial sectors leads to improvement and expansion of services. As levels of income increase, certain sections of people start demanding more than just basic services, such as tourism, shopping malls, food joints, etc. Thus, demanding more and high-quality services, increasing the value addition of tertiary sector. Discovery and expansion of new industries such as information and technology and communication technologies have become important and essential. Where are most people employed? Most people are still employed in the agricultural sector, whereas the tertiary sector is the biggest contributor to GDP. Why didn't a similar shift happen in case of employment? It's because not enough jobs were created in secondary and tertiary sectors. From 1973 to 2012, even though industrial production and tertiary sector production went up by 9 and 14 times respectively, employment went up by only 2.5 times and 3 times respectively. The primary sector continues to be the largest employer even now because less jobs were created in the secondary and tertiary sectors. This means that there are more people in agriculture than required. Production will not be affected even if a few of them are removed. They are underemployed. This kind of underemployment is hidden in contrast to someone who does not have a job and are clearly visible as unemployed, and it is also called disguised unemployment. Unemployment. When an individual has the ability and willingness to work, but still he has no job, this condition is known as unemployment. Types of unemployment: disguised unemployment, seasonal unemployment, cyclic unemployment, visible unemployment. Seasonal unemployment. In the agricultural sector, farmers remain unemployed between the sowing and harvesting period. Cyclic unemployment. It depends upon the fluctuation of demand and supply in the market. The demand for umbrellas increases during the rainy season while falls during the other seasons. Hence, the umbrella makers remain cyclical unemployed. Visible unemployment. It is seen in both urban and rural sectors. An individual has the ability and willingness, but the country fails to provide job opportunities. How to create more employment? In agricultural sector, government should provide a loan to construct well for irrigation. Alternatively, government could fund the construction of dams, canals, or other irrigation projects, creating direct employment and increasing agricultural productivity. Spend money on transportation and storage for taking better care of farmers. Extend loans and create more markets and subsidies to help poor farmers. Another way is by locating and promoting agricultural-related industries and services such as cold storage, dal mills, etc. In other sectors, government should create more schools. There are around 20 lakh jobs that can be created in the education sector alone. Improvement in healthcare, tourism, and other areas could also lead to greater employment. National Rural Employment Guarantee. The central government made a law called the National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, 2005, NREGA, implementing the right to work enshrined in the Constitution as one of the directive principles of state policy, Article 41. Under NREGA, all those who are able to and are in need of work are guaranteed 100 days of employment in a year by the government. If the government fails in its duty to provide employment, it will give unemployment allowance to the people. Classification on basis of ownership and organization. Classification on the basis of organization of economic activity. Organized sector, unorganized sector. Organized sector. It covers those enterprises or place of work where the terms of employment are regular and people have assured work. They are registered by the government. They abide by laws of the government. For example, Factories Act, Minimum Wages Act. Unorganized sector. They are small and scattered units. They are outside the control of government and do not follow rules and regulations. Jobs are low paid and irregular. Employment is not secure with no benefits. The workers of unorganized sector also face social discrimination. Protection and support to the unorganized sector workers is necessary for both economic and social development. Classification on the basis of ownership. Public sector, private sector. Public sector. In public sector, the government owns most of the assets and provides all the services. For example, railways. Their motive is public and social welfare. Private sector. In private sector, the ownership of assets and delivery of services is in the hands of private individuals and companies. For example, Tisco. Their motive is to earn profits. Various infrastructure development projects require huge investments and the return is also very less. So the private sector is less inclined to invest in them. Summary. Let us summarize what we have learned. Primary sector. When we produce a good by exploiting natural resources, it is an activity of the primary sector, also known as agriculture and related sector. Secondary sector. Natural products are changed into others forms through ways of manufacturing, and it is also known as industrial sector. Tertiary sector. These activities by themselves do not produce a good, but they are in aid or a support for the production process, and it is also known as service sector. Gross domestic production. The total value of final goods and services produced in each sector during a particular year provides the total production of the sector for that year. Disguised unemployment. More people engaged in than the people required for work. People do less work than their efficiency. National